Hey 2020. Happy almost last week of Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week, and so I just have a few things I want to go over with you today. We've got something different in the module again this week, something that will help you get ready and set up for an assignment that you have next week. So we'll talk about that in a minute. We are still in chapter 10 this week. We are talking about interpersonal relationships. We started last week mainly focusing on friendships, and this week we're going to move, still in chapter 10, last half, moving into romantic relationships and organizational relationships. So those interpersonal relationships you have with people in the workplace. And we all have them. Some of us are better at them than others. And I find that, as with anything, our communication practices are the things that most affect our ability to have productive and, at the least, enjoyable and respectful relationships with people that we work with. So pay really close attention this week to some of the theories and concepts that we talk about in the textbook, and think about how you can apply them to your work relationships. Also think about those friendship ideas and how we can apply those to workplace relationships. For example, involuntary and voluntary relationships. I think for most of us, we consider work relationships to be, right, they're involuntary. If you're at work and there's someone there you have to have a relationship with. But if you think about them as involuntary, that doesn't mean they can't be productive. And that's what we want to work on, is our communication to make those productive. So let's see. I'm really looking forward to seeing how many of you did the extra credit and did the 36 questions. For those of you that did it, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And even if you did it just for the extra credit, at the end of the day, it was an experience that was hopefully beneficial for you in one way or another. Remember, beneficial doesn't always mean good or happy, right? Sometimes our most beneficial conversations are the hardest conversations we have, the hardest topics we talk about. They aren't necessarily happy, but they're helpful, and we need to keep that in mind. So this week in Module 13, I've added a page that says, I think I called it preparation for an assignment for next week. What I'm asking you to do is to download an application for tracking your use on your phone. Which apps take the most of your time on your phone? I'm going to ask you to track that for a week. I've given you some links to different places where you can get apps for that. You should not have to pay for an app to do this. If you have one of the newer iPhone operating systems, it's already built in for you. It's an app called Moments, I think, and I've explained on the page how to get to it, and it will tell you exactly which apps you spend the most time in on your phone. It will also give you options to say, cut me off after 16 hours of Instagram this week. That's a joke. I hope no one's on Instagram 16 hours, but I think there may be at least one or two of you who might be. So give that a look. Get that downloaded so that next Tuesday when Module 14 goes live, you'll already have your app downloaded. It can start tracking you and seeing what you're doing. And then the engagement exercise and the discussion post, one or both next week, is going to refer back to the data you pull for that application. So get that app downloaded and ready so you're ready next Tuesday. Lastly, happy Thanksgiving. Whether you celebrate alone, you don't really like Thanksgiving, family's not your idea of a good time, or you don't have family close by, or you don't have family that you engage with a lot, I hope that Thanksgiving brings you some pleasure, even if that's just pie. I really like pie. So I guess you've figured that out from the meme that's on the cover page. But enjoy your Thanksgiving. Let it hopefully be a day of rest. Hopefully all of you are not working. My guess is some of you probably are. For those of you that are working, I hope you get a break sometime over the long weekend. So happy Thanksgiving. Have a great week. Enjoy the module, and I will see you back here next week.